Welcome to Spooky Interviews from Spooky Ventures. This week's interview, Rochelle Young. Spooky Night, The Legend of Claudette is your first book. What can you tell us about that?
Hi, welcome to Spooky Ventures, and my name is Rochelle Young. I am the proud author of Spooky Night, The Legend of Claudette, which is now on Amazon right now. And how did I get started on this wonderful material, which I'm getting a lot of great feedback from? It all started when my kid went to college. And even before that, it started as a skit. And I didn't know what to do with myself. And I said, I know what I'll do. I'll start off where my skit left off at. And if you go to my Facebook page, you can see that skit and the book as well. And that's what I did. I began to sit down and I began to write. And all of a sudden, my imagination began to flow. And before you knew it, I was satisfied at night, enjoying writing my wonderful piece. And it was done, and now it's published, and now it's here for you to enjoy. Spooky Night, The Legend of Claudette.
It lands under young adult. How do you see writing horror for that category as different from writing horror for a general adult audience?
Spooky Night, The Legend of Claudette is under the young adult category for a reason, because when I first started writing, I thought about it. What do I want to do? Do I want to write something that's really gory, that has a lot of detail, or do I want to keep it plain and simple? And so as I began to write, I thought, you know what, I don't want to go that way. I think I want to go this way and keep it nice and light, but I still wanted to be fun. I still wanted to have a lot of details of how spooky things can really get, but I wanted to keep it for a young adult so they can enjoy it and keep the day moving. This is a really good book if you're interested in something simple, fun, and spooky.
You also do voiceover work. Does any of that land in spooky projects? And what can you tell us about voiceover work in general?
Because I am a voiceover artist, and that's something that I really enjoy, does that voiceover work I do go into other projects? And the answer is yes. Not too long ago, I was actually interviewing for I guess you can say, a gig for an amusement park. I guess they're starting to get everything together for that right now. Special effects, noises, and they wanted a Pacific witch voice, so that when you come into that amusement park, when you hear that, you're going to be like, oh my God, it's Halloween! And so, yes, sometimes being a voiceover artist does go into other projects of being spooky, and I'm having a lot of fun at doing voiceover work, so it really is something that I enjoy a lot.
What are you working on at the moment?
What am I working on now? Well, one of the things I'm working on now is I'm working on commercial bits and learning how to develop my craft even more in the studio. I have an in-home studio, and I am always in the studio working and learning and developing. So I am always doing that, and trying just to be the best that I can be, so that when I deliver, it can be the best of my voice. I can feel confident, and I can give potential clients what they're looking for in the voiceover world. So I'm always in the booth. I'm always reading. I'm always learning things. So that itself keeps me really busy.
Do you remember when you first became fascinated with the horror genre or spooky things in general?
When did I first get fascinated with scary movies? I think it all started pretty young when I was, I don't know, 5 years old. I might have been five, watching Creature Feature, at nighttime as a kid. That was like forbidden in my house. I would beg my mother and my father, and they would allow me. And I'd go in the living room, dark, by myself, without my brother, and watch Creature Feature and really just enjoy. I mean, that music, man, that music, as soon as it came on, that music, I would run to the television and I just watched, Frankenstein and the werewolf and the vampire. And it was love. I just started watching scary movies, and from that, I can really understand why people like scary movies. They're so good. They really are.
Do you have a favorite medium, be that print or film or other, for horror?
It doesn't really make a difference if it's in print or film. I love to read just as much as I love going to the movies. I always have. I love them both. It just depends on like what mood I'm in. Sometimes I might not want to go to the movie. Sometimes I want to read and sit down and be quiet in my own home and sit on the sofa and just really take in all the detail. Because when you're reading, you're actually in that moment with the character. So you're feeling everything that character is feeling because the details are there. As opposed to when you go to a movie theater, it's not quite the same. You're only seeing what they want you to see on screen. But it's just as good because some of that stuff is so good. So it doesn't make a difference if I'm reading or if I'm going to the movie theater to see a great horror flick. It's all good.
Who are some of your favorite horror creators?
Let's see, some of my famous creators. I would say, first of all, Stephen King. I've been reading Stephen King since I was a kid. I mean, the guy is amazing. And the shit is terrifying. Look what you did to it. Clive Barker. Let's see. Freddy Krueger. Who's that? Wes Craven. A lot of those great creators. I'm not forgetting anyone. Let's see, Clive Barker. Anne Rice. Let's not forget about Anne Rice. Anne Rice is another person that I tip my hat off to. She's a great writer. Very good writer. And she writes well.
What are some of your favorite horror books?
Because I'm always in my studio, I really don't have time to just sit down and read a good long book. That's why I enjoy short stories. I love short stories because they're great and straight to the point. And short stories provide just as much feedback as the big books. Because a lot of times I'm in my studio, I'm recording, and so that's where most of my time is spent at.
What about your favorite horror movies?
Let's see, my favorite horror movies? I got a lot of them, but I'm only going to name a few. I enjoy Carrie. I really enjoy The Thing. Uh, Hellraiser 1 and 2. Saw. Uh, um, The Woman in Black. Let's see. What else I got? I don't know if I said Rosemary's Baby. I don't know if I said that, but yeah, you get the point. I really enjoy a good horror flick. Nothing quite like, especially something that's spooky, something that has like something that you can't physically touch, but you know it's there, kind of shit. That's good too. Oh yeah, I like horror.
We can't live by spooky alone. What other things captivate your interests?
I think I'm really the kind of person who really enjoys family, being around my family a lot, family-orientated person. I enjoy medieval times. I enjoy fairs. I enjoy garage sales. I enjoy being at the beach. I enjoy the park. I enjoy the movies. I enjoy theater. I enjoy plays. I just enjoy life in general, especially when it's with my family and my friends who I love dearly. That is where it matters most.
Have you created works in other areas beyond horror, spooky territory?
Someone suggested about 2 weeks ago that I write something about love. And I said, love, okay, that sounds good, but do I really want to go into romance? I don't know. So I really haven't ventured outside of Spooky Night just yet. I think I will try and continue Spooky Night, and then after that I will see where my writing skills lead me.
If you could sit down to dinner with any three people, living or dead, with whom would you be dining and what would be on the menu?
Okay, now here's an interesting question. Okay, let's see. If I could sit down with anyone at the table, living or dead, who would that be? Okay, I'm going to say Denzel Washington because I love Denzel Washington. And I'm also going to say Tom Hanks because I love me some Tom Hanks. Now, as far as the dead person, I'm going to be honest with you. I really have to know that person if I'm going to bring them back from the dead. Because I do not want them to be pissed at me when they come back. So the only person who would really understand me at that point, and they wouldn't get pissed off at me, would be my mother. I would bring my mother back and have dinner with her. What would we have? Oh, I would lay it out for her. Collard greens, mashed potatoes, anything she wants, chicken, ribs, anything. I would lay it out, caramel cake, anything she wanted. Yeah, I would, for my mom.
What else would you like the viewers to know about that we haven't touched on in this interview?
First of all, I'd like to say thank you so much for tuning in to my interview, and I'm looking forward to seeing more of you reading my book, Spooky Night, The Legend of Clark Death, because Halloween is on its way, and it's going to be a spooky time. Thank you very much. Oh, don't forget, Spooky Night is on Amazon.
Spooky Ventures is the home for spooky content and spooky merchandise on the web. Check it out today at spookyventures.com. And remember, always keep it spooky.